So, in this video, I'm going to talk about these two Greek nouns, chronos and kairos. And although these two words are both related to time, blocks of time, they are different and need to be distinguished. So first of all, whether singular or plural, chronos simply defines time or times. And there's no reason to translate chronos any other way except time or times. Which brings us to kairos, which defines a specific happening within a limited period of time, such as, a presidential term, which in the US has term limits. So terms are limited time to specific happenings. And kairos should never be translated time because the Greek word chronos defines time or times, where kairos a term or terms. Yes, it's that simple. Now in part 5 of my series, Who Was Jesus?, I talked about eons, which are very large blocks of time. The block of time which has made up the present eon has now exceeded 6,000 years, where then of course eons are broken down into other events involving time or times. So periods of time or times within an eon are Aeonian times, which term is found 3 times, thrice, in the New Testament in the plural, times. However, within periods of time are smaller segments of terms, limited happenings, where notice here in 1 Thessalonians 5:1 and Acts 1:7 we find both times and terms, chronos and kairos, which have their context according to events that have yet to unfold in the last days, as we transition from the present eon into the next eon. And according to some of these terms, Paul writes that in the last days, wild terms will take stand. There will be a term, a limited time with a specific beginning and end where they will not bear the teaching being healthy, which by the way has to do with the apostasy that comes before and then the term of the unveiling of the human of lawlessness, the thief. And distinguishing these specific terms is important because they're specific to term-limited events. So the not bearing of teaching being healthy is specific to a very limited term, where if we don't distinguish between time and terms, we just generalize. So times and terms must be distinguished for very good reason, because terms limit events to specific happenings, of which these two verses that refer to times and terms pertain to the last days, of which time of the ending, as seen here in Daniel chapter 12, verse 4 and verse 9, encompass the last week of Daniel, which terms will unfold, such as the term of the up-loosening, being the out-resurrection of Philippians 3:11, which involves the term of the origin, beginning of the judgment. And then according to the completion of the all-in-all, the term of the harvest. So, in closing, we see that an understanding of eons and that which is Aeonian plays into our understanding of times and terms, where we also find kairos with the prefix pros, translated time termed in the DLT, also designating specific limited happenings within periods of time, which things time termed are looked at or seen. However, that which is not looked at or seen is Aeonian, as things pertaining to eons, the largest blocks of time. And as it goes for the threefold representation of the heavens and the earth, this reveals multiple eons. Not only times within an eon, but eons themselves, according to the largest span of time. Where in yet another video, I'm going to pick back up on the discussion surrounding the words Aeonian, the adjective, as well as the noun aeon, translated eon or eons, so please stay tuned.